Welcome back. Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine. Why are the fans being so mean? Yeah. So let's look at his game log because it's what's wrong with Zach. All right. Well, he's averaging 14.2 shots a game this month. And in his previous month, he averaged 16.8, 19.2, 15.8, 15.9, 15.2. This is with the Bulls. So, okay, shots are down. Not a ton. Shooting percentage, field goal percentage, and threes. 52 and 45 this month. 49 and 37 the month before. 53 and 44 the month before. 48 and 48 the month before. So I feel like that's right in line. He's averaging 20 points a game as opposed to 23 last month, 28 the month before. So you can see kind of a drop. His minutes are generally the same. But, Jason, I think a lot of that is he started out the month of March scoring 20, 22, 20, 36, and 30. All right. And then his high since has been 23 points against Memphis. He's had games of 17, 14, 21, 23, 8, 16, 14. There's something going on there.
Yeah.
And I think there may very well be basketball things going on. We've talked about the fit with DeMar DeRozan, the Bulls thing, that whole deal. I saw a Bulls fan yesterday, one of their Bulls bloggers tweet out, why in the hell would a team, after watching the horrible slog the Bulls did for years with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, and they've seen in reality how it does not work, why would another team honestly think that could work again? And some of that is retrospective thinking, but some of it's also decently brought up. I wanted to do the best I could to find out. I just really... There's very few things in the world worse when it comes to commentating on sports to when, Zach needs to get his head together. Zach needs to do this. What is wrong? He's making 40-something million, which, by the way, would all be very appropriate. But then you find out like a week later, this horrific thing happened in his life, and then you feel like an ass.
Right.
So I don't know what's going on. I don't have anything to report. Again, full transparency. Even if I did, it's not my place to say. I will tell people he's going through something. It's his business. I'm going to choose to give him some grace. I don't think he doesn't want to perform. Obviously, his head's messed up right now. I think the real question is, okay, should he be on the floor then? And my question to you, Jason, is, despite what's going on, the question of should he be on the floor, I don't necessarily think he's a negative asset on the floor there either. He's just not playing to what he should be playing at.
Yeah, it's a tricky one for the team, for Zach himself. So I know we're going to play some audio from Zach a little bit later in the show, but like body language last night, we see him in the post. Look, they've lost a bunch in a row. He's not playing that well. And if he has something else going on, he's got something else going on, but the body language didn't look very good. That's one thing.
Right.
My best basketball thought on what's happening with him, this is my best guess, kind of a little bit back to what you already alluded to. I don't know that for whatever reason, two good players, it's just not really jiving with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. And it's not each one specifically, but DeRozan takes up a lot of time, like whether it's dribbling or shots.
Yes.
But he gets them all the time.
Yes.
I don't think we've left a game going, man, how did DeMar get 6 shots? He's going to get hit. Why can't Zach do the same? And that's a little bit on DeMar. That's a little bit on Zach. That's a little bit on the team not setting up Zach LaVine. That's one. Two, what was interesting is I personally thought Zach LaVine coming here might benefit him more than Chicago, but I might be wrong on that because I think Chicago ran more set play, and maybe that's something that is better for him. Him specifically.
The structure.
Might be.
Yeah.
And the last one would be, and I think this one is probably the case, and Henry made this point last night. He goes, look, the Kings point guard right now, when healthy, is Malik Monk. Yeah. He goes, just for example, if it was Chris Paul, I think both of those guys would be eating. And I go, like, feeling that they need a true bona fide point guard for those two specifics.
Sure.
I don't know that this team needs that, but with those two on the floor, maybe that helps. I don't know. Those are all some theories, some thoughts. Yeah. I can't say this is it for sure.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he had 42 one night as a King. So I know he's better than this. He looks frustrated. I'm sure the team's frustrated. I don't know the workaround to get him and the team right.
I think you bring up great points. I remember watching last night. I want to say it was in the first half. Might have been the third quarter. DeRozan got the ball, entry pass, left elbow. And I want to say the clock was at like 20. And he just kind of dribbled around with it and did his DeMaring. And then I think at 7 seconds, he took a jumper from almost the right elbow, and he made it. But I just remember watching it and going, look, I have all the respect in the world for DeMar DeRozan. As I said yesterday, he's going to go down as one of the greatest scorers, probably top at least 13 when it's all said and done. The guy's a walking bucket.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. It's just such a blah brand of basketball. It's ISO. It's him getting into his bag. And I always feel like that's a little bit of I think it affects the entire team. If you're on the floor with him, you know there's a good chance if the ball's in his hands, you may not be getting the ball back. And I'm talking about a guy, by the way, who had double-digit assists last night, too. Let's acknowledge. I have always felt like the Kings, and maybe this is just an affinity for the 0-2 team, but they've always been at their best when it is a free-flowing offense where everybody touches the ball once or twice, and you don't have to worry about it. If you give up the ball, there's a very good chance you're getting the ball back. And, oh, by the way, the ball, when passed, always moves quicker than a defender. You're moving the ball around. Everyone's getting a touch. Everybody's engaged. Everybody's into the game. Everybody's warm. They're not shooting for 5 minutes and then missing a jumper. I just don't like I respect it, and I respect him. I don't like that style of basketball.
Yeah, and I think it's not that DeMar's not a willing passer.
Right.
It's just the length of – I think that there's a lot of dribbling.
His ball stop.
Yeah, and so there was one last night, for example, I remember just between those two. Don't know the portion of the game, but DeMar got it, kind of your example. Maybe there was a little less time, but a lot of dribble, maybe pump fake, didn't work. Throws to Zach with he gives him a grenade with 2 seconds.
Yep.
And Zach's got to create
was that when Lamar was on the left and Zach was on the right side?
Yep.
Yeah, I know the exact play you're talking about.
And Zach missed. That's fine. But he kind of went down the floor that's when you're going to give me the ball.
Right.
And I don't blame Zach for that.
Right.
But, so there's plays like that happen with DeMar. And also DeMar makes a lot of plays too. It's a weird conundrum they're in with him.
And I wonder, not to think too deep, but I also wonder if that's like a player pet peeve. Let's put yourself in Zach LaVine's head. Yeah. He's going, dude, you dribble the ball until there's 2 seconds left. You give me the ball. I have to put up this crazy contested shot. My field goal percentage is going to drop. People are going to think I suck.
Yeah, it would be for me.
Right? You're putting me in a bad spot here.
And it's going to happen to everybody, but I feel like it happens more with DeMar.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Michael Bibby is your new Sac State head coach. And I'm going to tell you why I think this actually is going to be really, really good for Sac State, why Mike Bibby is going to be, or very well could be, an excellent coach, especially at this level to start out. We still have 3 for Madness, Kings Rewind, and so much more. We'll get into your post game with a lot of comments from players and coaches and a word from overhead during this break. Think that, because I've been wondering. And Jason, you got me?
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
Tonight, Kings and Thunder. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts